being the only.
You're playing, you know, on your own at the table, but there's still other people, obviously, you know, wanting you to have a good result and wanting to benefit from you to have a good result. So, in that respect, you're trying really hard, and it's more of a disappointment if you lose.
At the end of the day, you know, there's not really a loser in this tournament, you know, apart from that you can win maybe 100 grand for your charity or 30 grand for your charity, depending how far you go on in a tournament. So really, you're just playing for them, and you know, and a bit of pride for yourself, to, you know, to put on a good performance.
Hello there, good evening. If you're thinking of going to bed in the next hour and you're a fan of close finishes, then maybe you should think again. In the annals of snooker history, the final of the 1997 Liverpool Victoria Challenge between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry will take some beating. And don't just take my word for it, take Willie Thorne's.
I've been a professional for 20 years and this is the greatest final I've ever seen. Please stay up.
Well, it's the best of 17 frames. We begin the story for you at frame 4. Hendry leads 3 frames to 0. Your match commentators, Jim Meadowcroft and Rex Williams.
So, having lost the first 3 frames of the match, Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off in the frame before the mid-session interval. Well, he's 3-0 down, and he hasn't done that much wrong. He's had very little opportunity.
Well, it was a shot to nothing, but nevertheless a great red to pick out. And that, of course, is where the bonus comes in. Perhaps a little tighter to the green would have been better, but nevertheless that gives Stephen the initiative in this 4th frame. And those must seem like coffin nails to Ronnie O'Sullivan. There's just no accounting for the accuracy and the consistency of the world champion.
Six. 7.
Just overrun it a little bit there, but he'll keep it absolutely dead tight, just a little trickle up behind the green.
Stephen Hendry, 7. Foul and a miss for Stephen Hendry.
Well, Stephen won't have this one replaced. That's a great advantage to gain from the safety shot that he played prior.
Seven. Eight.
Very well controlled. Had to run into the black, but perfect weight.
$15. 16.
Well, of course, the problem for Ronnie is that if he does get an opportunity, the pressure will be tremendous on him, because he knows that one mistake all the time, and Hendry's right in and can clear the table, and of course that puts extra pressure on a player.
24.
Looks as though Stephen spotted a plant to the right corner.
31.
Perhaps a couple of inches there between first and second red, but not too sure whether or not it's in a straight line or he's got to make it this. He's got to make it. Spot on.
32. $39.
Played for the red in the centre, but didn't quite go far enough.
Stephen Hendry, 39.
Well, a useful 39 for Stephen. That's probably the first potable ball in the match that he's missed.
Yes, and on top of that, he's got away with it. He hasn't left Ronnie anything to look at. Now that's spread them somewhat, but hasn't managed to get the cue ball safe and left Stephen a red to the left middle pocket.
One.
A little trickle up to the yellow, I would think, and Snooker bit behind green and pink. With the ball spread open as they are at the moment, Ronnie will be in absolute all sorts of trouble. He's
Stephen
played
Hendry,
that badly.
1.
Oh, yes. He'll wish that he could have another attempt to play that. He has made a mess of that. So the first real chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan for quite some time.
One. Six.
Yes, you've got to admire
7.
Ronnie, Jim, because he hasn't had a chance at all in the match so far, and just to get down and knock that red in like he did to start this visit just shows the ability and the confidence that Ronnie has got.
Well, that's right, Rex. You can never count him out, this young fella. He's just got absolute bundles of talent and great determination as well. It's a great contrast to see these two players play. Both natural talents, but Ronnie virtually 3 times as quick as
20.
Stephen. Great to watch when he's in full flight.
21. $28. $29.
Well, if Ronnie can pull this frame out of the fire and go into the interval 3-1 down, he'll be very satisfied because he's had no chance in the first 3 frames. Still a lot of work to be done.
$35.
Yes, the present problem for Ronnie O'Sullivan is the yellow ball. Wonder can he kick it out from potting the pink? Well, he's dropped fairly close onto it, but may be able to
41.
cut this into the middle pocket.
$43. $46.
Well,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 46.
what a shame. I'm sure everyone was willing Ronnie on there to take this frame. Ronnie putted some terrific balls there to give himself a chance of winning the frame, but I'm afraid that it's lost now.
9. Stephen Hendry, 9.
So I'm sure that Stephen has done enough to lead 4-0 at the interval.
Yeah, indeed he had done enough, more than enough, but you had a few reservations about his play.
Well, in fairness, Hendry was superb in the first 3 frames, made 2 centuries in the first 3. But in saying that, Ronnie O'Sullivan could have come out 2-2. He certainly should have won that frame, had a good chance to win the second. So all in all, it's all not lost for Ronnie. That's the main thing.
Yeah, well, we can let you into some of the story here, because the story changed slightly after that. 106 break for Ronnie followed. He took frame 5. Frame 6 was Hendry's. Here's frame 7. As we go to this, remember, Hendry leads 5 frames to 1.
7th frame, Stephen Hendry to break.
Leading by 5 frames to 1. Stephen Hendry breaks off in the 7th frame of the match. This match, the best of 17 frames. 8 in this first session and a possible 9 in the second session.
Well, that looks a little bit desperate. Had to take it on. And where the snooker's been going, it hasn't had many chances, so... But that's one that's gone astray.
One.
And terrific timing there. Stephen Hendry uses a cue that's only something like 16 ounces. Most of the players use much heavier cues than that, but it just shows the timing that he's got. And it's all about timing. He gets tremendous power.
Seven.
Would that have anything to do with the fact that it's a Rex Williams cue?
I think it might have something to do with it, Jim.
Nine.
Undoubtedly, the two players in this match are probably the two finest cueists in the game.
10.
And that's the cue that Stephen has always played with.
Seventeen.
Still got my name on it, actually.
18.
Plays that shot quite a few times this week, and he judges the pace of that very well. Sprang in line for this red to the left corner. Should drop again onto the black ball.
26.
And why did I ever let that cue get away from me?
I think it's in better hands now, Rex.
33.
So the break goes to 34. Just dropping onto the red now, which is on the top cushion. Still a couple of reds that will go, but
41.
he'll be thinking about disturbing something shortly.
42.
He'll probably try and go into the pack here. That's beautiful.
Well, you just can't strike the ball any better than that. Absolutely sweet as a nut.
50.
This is about the most devastating I've seen Stephen for quite a long time. He really does mean business. It's already been pointed out that these players have great respect for each other, but it's almost like a gunfight, this.
58.
Might sound something a bit strange, Steve. First of all, I don't seem to be getting the hall, the reference is on quiet.
65. 66. 71. 72. 79. 80.
'Well, this frame was won a long time since.
87.
We're now just concentrating on clearing the table yet
88.
again. Break goes to 88. Cleared the table in the last frame with a 97.
95. 96. 102. 103.
Well, what can one say?
Well, this is an absolute
109.
pleasure to commentate on, Rex. In fact, I think I'd have bought a ticket myself for this one.
111.
Yes, it's a privilege here to be talking about it.
114.
It's not possible to play the game better than this.
118.
4 centuries in 7 frames.
123. 129. 136 on the frame.
Unbelievable snooker from the world champion. Another century, magnificent 136. He leads now by 6 frames to 1.
And Stephen's third century break in 7 frames. Well, at this stage, Stephen's charity, the National Playbus Association, are obviously cock a hoop. Remember, £100,000 could soon be swelling their coffers, and Anthea was watching backstage with them.
Yes, Stephen again has played wonderfully. I couldn't bear to go into the arena with him. I've actually had to watch it on the monitor because yesterday I was kind of gripping so hard, but he's been playing very well.
So you've practically rung up the garage and ordered those buses, have you?
Not quite. I think one always has to be very careful because, as I say, Ronnie is a good player and
he
may
has been
well
known, hasn't he, to come steaming on back.
We won't be too confident, but quietly confident.
A lot of tension in the hall, especially from the Dyslexia Institute.
That is.
Do you think he's going to pull anything out of the hat?
I think anything's possible. I, on Friday, was waiting behind the curtain to receive the check when he was way down, and he pulled back and he won. So I haven't given up.
Well, hopefully Ronnie hasn't given up.
I'm sure he hasn't.
And knowing Ronnie, he hasn't.
I'm sure he hasn't too.
But there was no doubt about it. At that stage, the Dyslexia Institute were definitely looking like runners-up. Their only slight consolation was that Ronnie took the last frame of the afternoon session to reduce the gap ever so slightly to 6-2, but the evening sessions brought little early hope. Hendry took the first 2 of those to go 8-2 ahead, and most importantly, just 1 frame away from clinching this title for the second time. What had O'Sullivan left to give? Well, he took the next frame. That was frame 11. Here is frame 12.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's just stayed in the match with winning the previous frame, breaks off in frame number 12. This is the frame before the mid-session interval. Hendry requiring One more frame for victory.
Well, I was about to say that Ronnie didn't want the cannon on the brown, but the way that it's just nudged the cue ball over behind the yellow would be a welcome sight.
Judged that perfectly and acknowledged by Ronnie O'Sullivan. Just tapped the table to acknowledge a good shot.
Both balls.
Touching both reds, he's got to play away. He mustn't move the red. He would have deemed to have pushed the red should it move.
This will be a big shot.
One.
Yes, Jim, what a great shot, and what is more, he played a stun run through from that distance.
Stephen Hendry, one.
Yes, but just perhaps a lapse in concentration there. He played the pressure ball, got it. The black was potable. But perhaps just a lapse in concentration there for Stephen.
One. Eight.
This is a tricky little shot, just dropping it into the position on the black.
Nine.
A little bit of heart fluttering there.
Well, Ronnie did win his first frame.
17.
And the balls are nicely situated now. It'll certainly have helped him with his concentration.
$24. 25. $30. 31.
Well, certainly the crowd here today at the International Convention Centre in Birmingham have been treated to some
39.
wonderful snooker from both players. We had 4 century breaks in the first session, 3 by Hendry, 1 by O'Sullivan.
46. 47. 54.
Make a thick contact there on the red to leave another red.
55.
Well, that was a great shot to recover that situation.
62. 63.
Black will be enough.
70. 71. 78. 79. 86. 87.
'Well, this is letting Stephen Hendry know that O'Sullivan is
95.
still alive and kicking. And they're absolutely loving this.
103.
Possible 137. Ronnie already holds the highest break of the tournament with a
110.
wonderful 141.
112. 115. 119.
Well, this is a great display of potting. And what a speed he does it at.
124. 130. 137.
And great stuff, a wonderful performance, and he stays alive in the tournament. He now trails at the interval by 8 frames to 4.
20 minutes interval, ladies and gentlemen, 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes interval at that time, but that was more like it, Ronnie. Really?
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's now 3 centuries to 2. Rex Williams was mentioning in commentary it's 3-1 as far as the centuries are concerned. Ronnie's break there was superb, and it just shows it actually is not given up, which is wonderful.
And it still leaves, of course, Hendry just 1 frame away from victory at that stage.
Absolute mountain decline for Ronnie, but you never know. If he can win, say, 2 of the next 3 frames, or it's 2 more frames, he's really back into the match. So the next 2 more frames...
Does that loosen him up and that makes you feel that, you know, the heck, just let's go for it?
I think that's what he's going through his mind now, the fact that he feels like he's lost the match now. He's going to go blazing on all cylinders and just hope to get back into the match.
Well, we can tell you at home that the resurgence you saw there continued after the interval because O'Sullivan took the next one. A 1-2-4 break there, Willie, in that next frame. That made it 8-5. But Hendry, of course, still just 1 away from victory. Here's frame 14.
14th frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
The 14th frame of the match. O'Sullivan needs to win all the remaining frames if he's to successfully defend his title.
1.
Well, Stephen is going to try and make sure that he doesn't do that. It was a great opening red. It's been Stephen's turn to sit and watch for the last couple of frames.
5.
And now he'll want to get back in charge.
6. 13. 14.
Well, Hendry will want to keep O'Sullivan away from the table here. He knows how deadly Ronnie O'Sullivan
21.
is.
.22.
I would think he's going into the pack here. Should still be on the red to the left of the black.
.29.
Just a little awkward, queuing over reds.
30.
It was never easy. He got a good shot of the line there as the cue ball was coming through, almost straight on the black, so difficult to get too much movement into the cue ball.
I think the one red just stopping Stephen potting the red, just a little trickle into the reds.
Stephen Hendry, 37. Touching ball.
Yes, you saw a perfect picture there, the red just settling back onto the cue ball on the nap. Touching ball, so Ronnie can just play away and send the cue ball round the table. But he's got to be very careful that he doesn't collide with that red to the right of the pink. Or he can get there, that he's got enough room to get off the side cushion. He can just get through to the red to the left of the table. He's got to be careful. In fact, he can get through to the reds in the middle of the table.
One.
Well, that may have come at the right time. One good shot now and he could be back, bang in position.
5. Six.
Well, there really is some pressure on Ronnie O'Sullivan. He knows that one more mistake and he's dead.
13. 14.
Should go into the reds from here. And he's certainly on one into the left middle pocket.
21. 22. 27. 28. 33. 34.
Putting some pressure on Hendry now. Takes
41.
Ronnie 4 points in front.
42.
That worked out well.
48. 49.
We'll still need that red near the side cushion, that rather awkward red. He's played to get onto it. Took the chance there to get onto it. Now this is a tricky
55.
one.
Yeah, slightly the wrong side of this red. Oh, wiped his feet.
56.
26 points in front.
63.
Just needs the black.
64.
Great performance this, Jim.
Absolutely tremendous.
71.
And this match has come alive.
73.
Ronnie looked dead and buried 2 or 3 frames ago, and it's Stephen's turn to sit in the chair.
76. 80. 85. 91.
They're loving it. Well, it's 4 consecutive frames for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He continues his recovery, now trails by 8 frames to 6.
We have still got to bring the action to you. Of course, it's not all been serious snooker in this competition, far from it. Indeed, as you will now see in Celebrity Pounds for Points. A big thank you to all the following people. They raised a lot of money for charity.
Pounds for points. How'd you get your hat on with that hair?
With my hands.
But what can I do, Cuman?
Thanks a lot. I'm not nervous. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! You didn't like it! Have you ever seen anything better? No, there you go. Yeah.
As soon as I say pounds for points.
Yes! What?
Yes!
I realise that, you fool, but what do I do, Cupid?
Roll the red, roll the red.
Get off!
Do it again.
I might be able to add this one up on my own.
I doubt
She's
it. Welcome back. If your eyes are getting heavy, stick with us a while longer. You'll be glad you did for some great snooker action. Stephen Hendry, 1 frame away from victory in the final of this competition over Ronnie O'Sullivan. Or is he? It was 8-6 when we were last with you. Ronnie won the next 8-7 after 15 frames. Here's frame 16. There's no score yet as we join it in the middle of a tight safety battle. Your commentators are Rex Williams and Jim Meadowcroft.
Touch and go.
Yes, in actual fact, Rex, before this frame got in progress, the 15 frames of snooker that we've seen have all averaged below 10 minutes, which is incredible. And included in that, there are 6 century breaks, 3 from each player. An incredible high standard.
Now they're just opened up a little bit now, and Stephen hasn't been able to get out of this stranglehold that Ronnie's got him in at the moment. Just 1 frame between the 2 players now. Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the last 5 frames from looking dead and buried. Well, he's managed to get some relief, but that red on the side cushion, he can bring it back to the top cushion again. He'll be disappointed with that one. Didn't get the cue ball close enough to the cushion, has allowed Hendry now to take the initiative. And that wasn't a good shot.
Well, under normal circumstances, Ronnie may have been tempted to have a go at the pot, but he's managed to get the cue ball reasonably tight anyway to that top cushion, and you can see the cue of Stephen Hendry, but up into the air, and that has caused the first mistake.
And a buzz of excitement went round the hall then. They know that this is a chance here for O'Sullivan to level the match. They're loving it here today.
1.
So the first ball is potted after 10 minutes 23 seconds. And the world champion must be very worried now.
Seven. 14.
He'll probably just mop a few up at the bulk end of the table now. Play around the blue for a few balls. Build up a reasonable lead.
15.
He's under pressure really with every shot. But he really does have so many to choose from.
18.
The trick here is to make sure that you just don't miss, don't make a mistake, because if you should do that, Stephen would have the same opportunity. So he's just got to mind his work, Ronnie.
24. 25.
And this is one of the best performances I've ever seen in any match
30.
in all my career. Hendry playing
31.
at his best, no doubt about that. And O'Sullivan coming back at him from 8-2 down and could possibly level the match.
37.
This
38.
packed house here this evening are really privileged to be witnessing this.
Yes, I would second that, Rex.
43.
Also,
44.
it's the greatest exhibition of potting and break building that I've ever seen. I know that a couple of seasons ago Stephen made 7 out of 9 century breaks.
50.
But that was one-sided, even though I think he was playing Ken Doherty at the time, and Ken put in a great performance.
Red goes to 51.
51.
Can still play onto the red adjacent to the green.
56. 57.
A little bit of a hiccup there, but he's still got the yellow. So
59.
possible 67 on the table, 59 ahead, so he's not over the line yet. Needs one more red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 59.
But a very good 59 there from Ronnie. With that safety shot, he's put a red safe just as an extra insurance. Good safety shot, that is. He's got Stephen in all sorts of trouble here. Been on this shot now a minute, or a couple of seconds short of that. Had to go for it.
One.
Well, the audience supporting that red in the middle, they know the scores.
6.
What a performance this is, Jim, isn't it? It's fantastic.
It's just great to be a part of it, Rex.
$12. 13.
Well, I wouldn't think he fancies the decider now. Brown doesn't go, but it doesn't matter. And Ronnie O'Sullivan wins 6 on the trot and levels the match. Takes it to the decider. 8 frames each.
Incredible stuff. So all square it stands. And if you can stay with us, I can promise you snooker history. I exaggerate not. O'Sullivan v Hendry. Who will win? Find out after this break. Here we are, all square in this final match between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry, the only 2 men to have won the Liverpool Victoria title before. And now, it's sudden death.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The deciding frame, Stephen Hendry to break.
Well, he was 8-2 in front. And who would have thought it would have gone to the deciding frame? And that's what they're playing for, the Liverpool Victoria Charity Challenge Trophy. Some pressure out there now. That was a great shot. The double kiss was always on.
Yes, he had to hit that. Absolutely perfect. Great reply from Stephen. And the tension out there at this minute is absolutely electrifying.
What a shot. That's why he's world champion. Even under this pressure, he still takes that type of shot on.
Eight. Nine.
Stephen Hendry won the last ranking tournament, the UK Championship, and he was taken to the decider in that by young John Higgins.
16. 17.
Well, after the great effort that he's made,
24.
I suppose he's wondering now, will I get another chance back at the table?
$25. $32.
Well, Stephen's composure
33.
in this situation is unbelievable, because he's the man, certainly with that's under pressure the most here.
$40. 41.
Red into the center.
48. $49.
Played that perfectly. Just had to touch that red just to push it away to open the other two reds.
57.
Well, that's 8 reds, 8 blacks. It can't possibly happen. It's not possible what we're thinking about.
64.
Can't possibly make 147 in the
65.
deciding frame, Jim, can he?
Well, that, if that were to take place, that really would be the icing on the cake, Rex. But it must be in his mind, and has been for quite a few shots.
72.
That's the red that he wanted.
73.
Only 67 left on the table now, so this is a fantastic performance.
$80.
What a match this has been. Fantastic.
81.
Well, I thought miracles stopped happening 2,000 years ago, but this is just unbelievable stuff.
88. $89.
Well, he must be admiring his opponent. He's very disappointed, but you've got to admire the resilience of this man.
97.
Yes, he's just a fraction short.
That's 13 reds and 13 blacks.
104.
Now he wants to, he's got to get an angle on this final red to be able to get back onto the black. And he was disappointed with that. Didn't quite get enough side.
112.
Well, you'd have to fancy him now, Jim. This is incredible stuff.
This is the key shot.
$120.
The greatest match I've ever seen in my life.
$122.
Absolutely incredible.
$125. $129. $134.
This is the shot. What can we say?
104.
Absolutely incredible. Hold your breath. This is it. Fantastic performance. I've never seen anything like it in all my career. 147 break, a maximum in the deciding frame. Unbelievable. Well, that was... I've never seen anything like that, Jim. Wonderful.
That is the greatest performance I've ever seen in my life. And Stephen Hendry deserves everything this evening. The audience standing up, loving every second of it. What a champion.
Jim, we're privileged to be here talking about it. Absolutely wonderful. We've seen 147s before, but we've never seen one at a time like that. And sportingly, everyone's applauding. It's fantastic.
Look at that smile, even Ronnie O'Sullivan smiling. It was a privilege to watch, wasn't it?
Actually, we caught a quick glimpse there of Elaine Robideau and his girlfriend in the crowd. I actually went in to watch the last 2 or 3 frames live as well. The atmosphere in there was tremendous, and that last break was played absolutely perfectly, pinpoint position all the way along, and I'd got sweaty palms even watching it again now, and I'd already seen it once before. It was by far and away the greatest match that's ever been witnessed on television, not because one player has played well, but because both players have played virtually to the top of their form, and these are 2 of the greatest players the world's ever seen.
See, I told you, there was snooker history in the making here. A 147 in a final frame, the first time it's ever been done. If you've any doubt about the quality of the play on show here tonight, just take a look at these century breaks. Now, Willie, we have to explain, this is not the tournament we're talking about here. There are 4, let's see the rest of them. This is just this final.
And 7 century breaks is not only a record. We've had a 147 in the final frame, which is a record. We've had more centuries in this frame. We've had 7 centuries in the final, which is also a record. Hendry just never stops breaking records, and every credit has to go to Ronnie O'Sullivan, I think, for making it a truly remarkable match. 8-2 behind, he's totally out of the game, fought his way back into it, and to end like that was just absolutely unbelievable. I'm absolutely gobsmacked at what we've seen.
You know, when we started out here, you said some of the players may be rusty after Christmas.
Never listen to me. I know nothing about the game whatsoever. It was just wonderful.
Well, Stephen Hendry told me he was practicing come Boxing Day. So £35,000, let's not forget Ronnie O'Sullivan. That went to his Dyslexia Institute charity. And of course, Stephen Hendry wasn't just playing for himself either.
And now we come to the winner. He receives this magnificent trophy. It is a lovely trophy, Stephen. And also, he receives the title of the 1997 Liverpool Victoria Charity Challenge Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, a great champion, Stephen Hendry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Roy Hurley will present Stephen with his cheque for £100,000 in aid of the National Playbus Association. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the cheque, there's Roy Hurley, and there's Stephen Hendry.
Well, I wonder how many buses that'll buy. Well, Willie met up with both the lads after they had time to compose themselves, and here's what they had to say.
Stephen, you've played and been involved in many great matches. How does this one rate among all the matches you've played?
I think it's a standard of snooker-wise by both players. It's by far the best. You know, it's probably not the most exciting match because, you know, to create excitement, you need people missing balls and missing easy balls, and that creates obviously the tension and the atmosphere. But you know, none of us missed, so there wasn't that excitement. But I've never been in a match. Obviously, I've been in finals where I've dominated and made 7 or 8 centuries, but never when both players have played the same way. And it's very rare to get that when both players play the same way in one match.
it's disappointing to lose a match like that, but then again, I didn't really do a lot wrong in the last frame, and you know, you can't be hard on yourself like that. And it's just nice to be involved in good matches like that.
It was so straightforward, really, the break. You know, nothing. I never had to do anything, you know, difficult to stay in position. So you know, it just started. And I knew, I was thinking, I'm saying to myself in the final, I said, stop thinking about maximum, you know, get the match won. Because really early on, I think 32, I went into the reds and they were perfect. And I had to stop myself, you know, really thinking about a maximum, you'd get the match won. And then as soon as the match won, I don't think, I never felt any doubt about doing it.
No, I've never had a maximum made against me in a match. And I've seen him make a few against other people. But to actually sit there, you know, and watch it, you know, he was never in trouble once. Brilliant break.
Well, you've made loads of records in your life. This must be one of the sweetest moments of your career so far.
Very much so, very much so. And obviously, you know, not to forget the charity who have obviously benefited from this. It's fantastic. Again, you know, the second time I've won the tournament. So obviously I've won, you know, over £200,000 for charities, which I'm very proud of.
Well, Steve, congratulations. It was an absolute pleasure to watch.
Cheers, Willie.
It was, Willie, and they are the only two winners of this tournament over the 3 years, of course.
And to think they've amassed over 300,000 prize money between them for good causes is tremendous. And we thoroughly hope Liverpool Victoria come back in for another 3 years, because this has been absolutely tremendous.
Let's see the way that prize money breaks down for the various charities. Each player playing for a charity, there you see the nominated charities. The first round winner is £8,000, plus they get their pounds for points. Money added to that as well. The first round losers, then the people that get to the quarter-finals. The semi-finalists guaranteed £15,000 plus the extra. And then we get to that final, £35,000 for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and Stephen Hendry's £100,000. And he got an extra 20 grand, we have to say, for that 147 break.
We actually